Welcome to the Drastic Results with Toni Harris Taylor show. Now I know you're thinking, what the heck is she doing with that umbrella? Well, in today's episode, you're going to meet my friend, Ed the Rainmaker Robinson, and he's going to tell you how to make it rain in your business. Not the kind of make it rain you're thinking about, but how to bring more sales. Are you ready? Let's go. It's time to get drastic.
Toni Harris Taylor. Toni Harris Taylor. Drastic Results. Oh yeah. Toni Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome back. In this episode of the Drastic Results with Toni Harris Taylor show, you're going to meet my friend, Ed the Rainmaker Robinson. I met Ed in 2016, and it was very intentional. I had a one-to-one networking appointment with someone, and she said, "You need to know Ed Robinson. Do you know him?" I said, "No." She said, "Go to the National Speakers Association." So I went online, I looked up Ed in LinkedIn, looked at his credentials, thought, yeah, I probably should connect with him. Looked up the National Speakers Association. They had a meeting coming up, and I registered. Cost me $40 to register. When I registered, I showed up at the meeting with all the intention to meet Ed Robinson. And I did. And we had a one-to-one. Y'all know what I do when it comes to networking. And we bonded. And to this day, he is one of my very special business associates and my friend. And he has also coached me in the past. Yeah, I was intentional. Someone said I needed to meet him. I took the drastic step to show up where I knew he would be. And the rest, as they say, is history. Are you that intentional? Are you that drastic? Are you going to show up? Are you going to pay the cover charge to connect with someone who has the potential to change your life? Ed has helped me take my networking viral, and I'm very grateful to him for that. And if you stay tuned, you're going to meet Mr. Robinson. You're going to understand why he is so special, and what he teaches will change the game for all entrepreneurs. So when we come back, you'll meet my friend, Mr. Ed Robinson. We'll be right back.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
Let's be honest. Making a lukewarm marketing video is fairly simple. But who wants lukewarm marketing? Instead, how about something that conveys your unique message? Well, that takes creativity, and creative is what we are. We design custom logos. We even offer professional print services. Our goal is to showcase how good your idea is, no matter what your product is. Whether it's social media marketing for a new author or the artwork for the book itself, we can help. You've created a new app and need a TV commercial to show it to the world. We can help.
Now they're Stork Advisor.
If you're a photographer trying to show off your work in a unique way, we can help. Need a promo for your TV show? We can help with that too.
It's Couch Time with Sonia.
We're an artistic bunch, and we love the creative process. We're not trying to be the best in Houston. We're trying to be the best for you.
If life happened today, such as critical injury and illness, or if you developed coronavirus and it was really severe and or hospitalized and can't work, what do you have to fall back on? Hi, I'm Mia White at Master Wealth Financial Group. Let me show you how to protect your greatest asset, which is you. Let me ask you a question. When you think of life insurance, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Death. Life insurance is what it is, life insurance. So when life happens, you have your wealth to fall back on instead of waiting for death to happen. Don't wait until tomorrow to protect your greatest asset when tomorrow's not promised. Start building your legacy and leaving your wealth to your family at Master Wealth Financial Group. For more information on how life insurance has been a sacred cash cow for over 107 years and how you can build your wealth, contact me at Mia White at MasterWealthFinancialGroup.com or call 1-877-742-4887.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
We're back with my friend, Mr. Ed Robinson. I told you in the intro how Ed and I met. It was a true networking story. But our relationship has grown beyond business to a true friendship. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your time to share with our audience who you are and what you do. So if you would please tell them who you are and what does it mean to be a Rainmaker?
Well, thank you. First of all, it's a joy to be here and to be on your show. I'm Ed the Rainmaker Robinson. I'm a former CPA. And as a former CPA, I help people grow their business and become rainmakers in that organization. In the professional service industry, my clients can be architects, accountants, lawyers, entrepreneurs. Each of those businesses have the need for sales and marketing. However, with most of those professional services, people have gone to school for accounting or architects, engineering, some technical competence that they don't really want to sell. I remember the first time they asked me to sell, I thought I was going to have a panic attack. And then I learned the system and how to make it easy. And I like helping people have an easy avenue into making it rain. So what happens is the small businesses will come in and have a simple 4-step formula to bring in additional revenue. And I honestly think that rainmaking is the lifeblood or the fuel of any potential business.
So you and I totally agree on that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about your 4-step formula later.
Okay.
But tell me the history of rainmaking. What does that mean?
Well, rainmaking actually started with the Native American Indian. The Native American Indians would have droughts, and there would be droughts for their crops. And what would happen during that droughts is you would have the medicine men or someone within that tribe would start dancing to open up the clouds so that they would get a flood of rain. And that flood of rain would obviously nourish the crops and allow people to eat and allow things to happen. Well, in the business world, our drought is about no revenue, and all of a sudden people are working and there's no more business, we've got a drought. The rainmaker within the organization is that key professional who's going to go out and do some marketing, do some sales, but start bringing in business to keep that business alive and keep it moving.
I love that. Now, entrepreneurs specifically, like you said, they love what they do, the technical part, the delivering of the service, but they don't necessarily want to go out and do sales. Sales has gotten a bad rap in the American economy. I don't want to be a used car salesman, right? And we hear that all the time. But like Ed said, it's the responsibility of the business owner to go out and make it rain. Even, people come to me all the time. They say, well, can't I hire someone to do the sales? And my response is typically, you still got to know how to sell, because what if that person leaves you? But talk to the entrepreneurs about why sales is noble and honorable.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head. It really is a mainstay in any business. And here's the key. If in fact you're going to sell any of your services to anyone, it becomes important to make it rain. But let me put that in another way. You need to know, what problems do you solve when you're working with the client? What problems do you solve? And if in fact you have a good understanding of what problems you solve, you can have a systematic way of sharing with your client how you're going to help them get to a better space. And even if you bring salespeople in and have a team, you're going to have to train them and educate them on what problems they solve so that they know how to have that conversation and the presentation skills necessary to get them to a yes.
Wonderful. So you are very passionate like I am. We have some great alignment around this whole sales process and being a business owner. And, you know, I say that there's someone in my network that says sales solves everything. What do you think about that? Does sales solve everything?
You know, when I've looked over the years, and I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds, if not thousands of businesses, one of the biggest challenges most businesses have is the lack of revenue or the lack of capital to move forward. And the best way to do that is to increase your volume of sales. And then if you increase the volume of sales, you can increase how many people are working on solving that whole problem around sales and the service side. So if in fact we become Rainmakers, we have all the attributes necessary to grow our people or to hire new services.
Awesome. Well, when we come back, we're going to continue. I want to hear the 4-step process to make it rain in our business. So we'll be right back more with Mr. Ed Robinson.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
Did you know that 76% of warm referrals actually close? Are you getting all the referrals that you want? My name is Toni Harris Taylor, and I am the community builder with Network in Action Northeast Houston. I bring business owners together to help them to build relationships to bring each other more leads. If you're interested in getting more leads for your business, contact me at nianortheasthouston.com.
Whether you're looking to connect with customers, find new ones, or sell more of your awesome stuff, Constant Contact has powerful email marketing tools and more to help you do more business online. Power on with Constant Contact. Try it free today.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
We're back. So before we went to break, we were talking about why sales is so important to a business owner. It's the lifeblood of your business. So Ed, you said you have 4 strategies to make it rain in any business. So what are those strategies?
Well, one of the first things they have to do is really take those drastic steps to do their networking. So once they've done their networking, now they have some leads. Now I have leads, what am I going to say to my potential client and my prospect? And that's where rainmaking comes into place. We say, what do you do to the rapport? Build rapport with a potential client. And we go through 6 or 7 things, but under that rapport, you're getting your client to talk and you listen. The A is asking those critical questions to find out why you're there. What pain, what problems can you solve? And then after you take those questions and you hear exactly, it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and they ask you what you want. You don't want everything on the menu.
Right.
You have certain critical appetizing needs, and what the asking questions does is determine what those are, so that when you get to the I, the implementation, you're actually only speaking to the things they want from the menu, and it's basically focusing on what that pain is and how you're going to solve it, so that you can get to the end, the negotiating. Now it's interesting about that, Toni, because a lot of people think negotiation is closing, but it's basically saying, how would you like us to move forward? And if we can have that conversation of how would you like me to move forward and how would you like to work with me moving forward, it's a lot easier than forcing people to say yes or no. But now you have a process of moving forward.
I like that because it's negotiable, right? So it's not a cut and dry yes or no.
Absolutely.
How would you like me to move forward is very non-threatening to the prospect, because here's the problem with sales. People don't like to be sold to.
Absolutely.
And everybody has their guard up, myself included. When people are selling to me, I have my guard up because I don't want their hand in my pocket.
Honestly, but that's how people feel about
Exactly. And so if we can, with the rapport, help them put their guard down so they understand that we're on the same team, we're on the same page. I'm just trying to help you solve a pain, a problem. And if I'm the person to do that, then great, let's move forward. And if I'm not, Toni is going to connect you with the person that is going to help
That's going to work for you.
Exactly. So it takes all the pain out of
It
it.
really does, because there's two things that really having a system does. One is it builds confidence. You have confidence because you know a proven formula to get to that next level. But here's the really magic ingredient, and that is collaboration. It's not you selling, but it's you collaborating with your client or potential client to say what works best for you, and I'm going to deliver that for you.
Absolutely. I love that. You've simplified and taken the pain out of the sales process. And it's painful, especially for you entrepreneurs who have built your own baby. And when people say no to you in the sales process, it's like they're saying your baby is ugly. And it really, ultimately, you've got to learn how to dig deeper on their pain, ask the right questions, then you can negotiate. And if you start with the rapport, it makes it so much easier. But it's drastic to do these steps. But if you don't do it, I think the statistic says within 10 years, 80% of small businesses go out of business. And I believe it's because of the sales, the lack of sales and marketing.
Absolutely. And you had alluded to that sales solves everything. And a lot of the reasons why many businesses go out of business is the lack of revenue. Absolutely. And revenue is obviously created when you're actually selling and you get to a rhythm where that pipeline is a consistent process.
So what part does coaching play in helping a business owner to be a better salesperson?
Well, even if I share with you all of the steps and how to make that happen, sometimes people want you to hold their hand and go through the process. Like what builds rapport? What opens up the door to them wanting to work with you? And with that whole making it rain, we're constantly saying, yes, we're asking the right questions, we're implementing and we're negotiating, but we're trying to give them what they want. And what they want is to know that you're capable and competent to satisfy the needs that they're looking for.
And coaches will help you through that process, because when it gets hard, you'll quit on yourself, and a coach moves you through. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ed about his drastic steps story. We all have a story, and we're going to come right back and we're going to hear what Ed's drastic steps have been, the drastic results he's achieved, and what's next. We'll be right back.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
Are you a busy business owner that feels invisible and you are not making the money you deserve? My name is Toni Harris Taylor with Drastic Results Coaching. I'm a leading marketing and sales coach who teaches service-based entrepreneurs how to magnetically attract their ideal clients to make more money now. If you are ready to get drastic results in your business, contact Toni at 713-387-9273. Remember, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
We're back. So we've got the intellectual piece of what Ed does. Now we're going to hear about his story. What was a low point in your life or business? And tell us the backstory, and then I'm going to ask you a follow-up question to that.
Okay. We're constantly, when you go into business, you're constantly growing. You're constantly looking for clients, and you're always looking for that one client to sustain your business, that one client that is the anchor that is going to help propel you to the next level. Well, after being in business about 10 years, I encountered that one. I had one client that loved me. They first started hiring me about 12 times a year. We had a conversation and they shared that they would like to use me more often, and it had gotten up to 75 times a year. Large client, they had over 100,000 employees worldwide. And It was wonderful. They call and say, Ed, can you go to Philadelphia? Ed, can you go to Australia? Ed, can you go to Switzerland? And I'd go, I'd come back. There was a check. It was wonderful.
Love when that happens.
And then we all remember 9/11. The month right after 9/11, my number one client, Enron and SEC and Anderson all had a meeting of the minds, and it was trouble for my client. So what I did is I wrote up a separate program for them so that I can help them with their PR and how to deal with customers. So by January of the subsequent year, 90% of my calendar is taking care of this large client around the world. And we're rocking and rolling. And come April, they call and say, Ed, we're going to close our doors. We're no longer going to fight this battle. And I look at my calendar, and they were very sweet about it, because they said, we looked at your contract, and anything that cancels within 30 days, we have to pay you. They said, we looked at 45 days, and everything that you had on your calendar for the next 45 days with us, we're going to write you a check. But the rest of the year, you're on your own.
Wow.
Now, I call that a storm.
Yes, a thunderstorm.
It was a
Absolutely.
thunderstorm. And the drastic step was, do I stay in this business? What do I do now? And here's the magic. I had to practice what I preach. I had to put in place my rainmaking process, which is really a 5-step process. It was like, determine what my new goal is, do some marketing, figure out what my business development strategy is, take care of the clients I still have, but have a solid pipeline so it keeps the peaks and valleys of your business level.
Yeah.
And so my goal was to put together a process that I could have a minimum of 90 pieces of business in the subsequent year without my main client.
Right. So diversification in your business, extremely important. We all want that dream client,
Yeah.
but we never know what's going to happen. And so having to, 90, can you imagine 90? And listen, I know Ed's fees, so I know that was a really painful situation, but you pivoted.
Absolutely pivoted.
Yeah,
I'm an ex-basketball player.
Okay.
So I know that pivoting gives you different opportunities to look at different situations. My big pivot at that point in time was making the decision never to have one client that's more than 20% of my revenue.
Y'all hear that? That's wisdom right there. And I'm in agreement with you, because I've got caught that exact same way, depending on one source of income. And I'm going to speak to my pre-entrepreneurs, my budding entrepreneurs who have a job. You're depending on one source of income. You better diversify that thing, because guess what? We've probably all seen where people have been caught depending on one source of income. So I appreciate that. I have one more quick question for you.
No worries.
So you've done a lot. Tell me what's next, what's your dream, and how can I help you?
Well, this post-pandemic space, the pandemic itself kind of gave us a realization that the one way of doing business is not the only way of doing business. And what happened during that space, we quit being on stages, we quit having one-on-ones. And I realized that there's people on the other side of the world that could benefit from my programs, and so we started doing a Train the Trainer. And we also made it available online. So we have it online, but we also coach them for the whole year. So they'll go through the curriculum, whether it's sales or leadership development, but then to take that same curriculum and be coached on that from wherever it is. And we call it being scalable. Scalable is taking your business where it doesn't require Tony's time all the time, but it requires Tony's team to take care of some things, which gives you a little bit more expansion, availability, and allows you to scale your business.
Awesome. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
You can reach me at ed@edspeaks.com, and my website is www.edspeaks.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ed, for sharing your time, attention, and wisdom with our audience. We will be right back with my last thoughts.
Yes,
Have you ever thought about the true definition of success? Well, fortunately, there's no wrong answer. We all have our own ideas of what true success actually means. So don't let yourself get caught up in trying to live someone else's success story. I'm Mike Bush with JLA Realty, and I want to take just a moment to let you know what our idea of success actually means. It's helping to create successful, passionate, and driven agents, which give us satisfied clients. So if you're ready for us to help you write your own success story, go to joinjla.com and let's get to work.
Drastic Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor.
We're back. Thank you for staying with us and listening to my guest, Mr. Ed Robinson, the Rainmaker. He told us the 4 steps to make it rain. And so if you want to make it rain in your business, apply those strategies, and I promise you, you will increase your revenue. I want to thank our sponsors, Mr. Brian McNeil, who also is a sales coach, and he's all about getting your sales story out. You can find him at brianmcneil.com. And if you really want to improve your marketing and sales game, come to the Viral Networking Conference, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Register as a VIP and show up in Houston. If you want to do general admission, that is going to be online. And this conference is designed to help you to learn the strategies to get known, get connected, and get paid to make your 6 figures and beyond. Thank you so much for watching the Drastic Results with Toni Harris Taylor show. And don't forget, sharing is caring. And go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And one more shout out to the SGA Network, where you can watch us now with our business show, faith-based shows on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. See you next time.